Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the big news. The topic for today's discussion, India-China clash at Tawang. Before we understand what this topic is in greater detail, a quick gentle reminder. BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS would be conducting a free IAS workshop exclusively on the BYJU'S Exam Prep application on 14th of December at 7 p.m. The session will be handled by Mukesh Jha. What is the agenda? How to choose an optional subject for UPSC CSE? What is that you have to do? The link will be given in the description box. Follow the link, give the necessary information, and you would be able to attend this free IAS workshop. Let's get started and try and understand what is this article all about. We had the Indian and the Chinese troops who clashed along the line of actual control in the Tawang sector of Arunachal Pradesh on December 9th, and the face-off resulted in minor injuries to a few personnel from both the sides. So we have the Indian and the Chinese army who engaged in a tussle along the line of actual control where in Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. The clash in Tawang along the line of actual control includes Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh comes when the tensions in the northern sector of Ladakh are yet to be fully resolved. While we already have an issue in Ladakh that is brewing, it is yet not settled. The Chinese have attempted another futile attempt in the Tawang region in Arunachal Pradesh. What triggered this particular clash? Government officials, when asked what exactly happened, they went on to say that the Indian troops were following the pre-decided path. So there is a patrolling format. So if this is a patrolling format zone, the Indian soldiers were following this patrolling format. But what exactly happened? The Chinese troops initiated an argument over the patrolling area, which was met with an objection by the Indian troops. So what was pre-decided, that particular line was not followed by the Chinese, and when objected by the Indian troops, they went ahead and they created this whole ruckus along the line of the actual control. The altercation triggered the clash, which lasted for several hours, and immediately after that, both the troops suffered injury. Then, both the sides engaged in talks as well. As a follow up to this particular incident, commander in this particular area wanted to restore peace and tranquility, and they engaged in talks in this part of the line of the actual control. Now, when you look at all this, we know for the fact that the Chinese have a particular pattern of operation. They would want to take the opposition by surprise as well. This time, we had the People Liberation Army, which had pre-planned the transgression for an opportune time. They knew for the fact that this particular area had a lot of snow cover, and it is during this period that the Indian soldiers withdraw from this particular area. They were waiting for this particular time so that they could take undue advantage. So this location of the skirmish is heavily forested area. During this period, Indian soldiers withdraw, and that is the opportune time that the Chinese People's Liberation Army was waiting for. A heavy cloud cover made it challenging for Indian satellites to capture images of any troop buildup. After the clash, the Indian side is said to have used radio frequency signal geolocation equipment to reconstruct satellite images. The high resolution satellite imagery is presently being analyzed by the Indian military and security establishment. With this, the Indians are trying to reconstruct how the Chinese People Liberation Army came in, and they are trying to understand the pattern of the Chinese aggression. Now, the most important question is, why did this happen? Many feel that this is because of the Operation Yuddhabhyas. We have the Chinese which had expressed objection to Operation Yuddhabhyas, which happens to be an India-US military joint exercise in Uttarakhand Hills. So they claim that this is a violation of the 1993 agreement, 1996 border agreement. So this could have prompted the Chinese to engage along the line of actual control in the Tawang region. So remember, when you go back to the Galvan Valley incident, China had again obstructed. It had also objected to India and United States of America engaging on the maritime front. Now, at this particular moment, because India engaged in Operation Yuddhabhyas in Uttarakhand, they feel it's a violation of 1993 and 1996 agreement, which is why some feel they might have engaged in such activity along the line of actual control in the Tawang area. Is this the first time that is happening? No. Similar incidents have also taken place in the past as well. In October 2021, a major clash had broken out between Indian and Chinese troops in the same area after a Chinese patrol of around 200 troops had attempted to transgress the line of actual control at Yangtze and damaged unoccupied bunkers on the Indian side. A similar transgression had taken place in June 2016 when around 250 PLA soldiers had transgressed into the area, but no clashes were prepared then. So the Chinese have their own pattern of surprising the opposition, but we the Indians are always prepared for it, and this has resulted in clash between China and India. So with this, what we have to understand is, why does China keep invoking Taiwan while Arunachal Pradesh is part of India? China keeps claiming for Taiwan. It keeps saying that Taiwan is part of China, but why do they say so? That is because of multiple reasons. Let's look at what are these possible reasons. One is with respect to the Tawang Monastery. When we look at Tawang, where is it? It is on the western side of Arunachal Pradesh, close by to Bhutan, and this is where the Chinese territory is. When we speak about Tawang, Tawang hosts the Tawang Ganden Namgyal Latse Tawang Monastery, which is the second largest monastery of Tibetan Buddhism in the world. The monastery was founded by Merang Lodre Gamso in the year 1680 to 81 to honor the wishes of the fifth Dalai Lama. So China claims that the monastery is basically evidence that the district once belonged to Tibet. They cite historical ties between Tawang Monastery and Lhasa Monastery in Tibet to support their claim over Arunachal Pradesh. This is despite that in the year 1914, what we had is a Shimla Convention. According to the Shimla Convention, what we had was a Chinese representative. We also had a Tibetan representative, and this gave to the birth of McMahon Line, and this became the permanent boundary between India and China. But the Chinese do not accept that. Always what they claim is the historical lines, and that is the unfortunate incident. Also, China says that the sixth Dalai Lama, Xiang Gyatso, was born in Tawang, and therefore Arunachal Pradesh is more a part of Tibet that makes it a territory of China. The second is with respect to cultural connection and the China's anxieties. What exactly happens? Tawang is an important center of Tibetan Buddhism. There are some tribes in the upper Arunachal Pradesh region which have strong cultural connections to the people of Tibet. The Monpa, which happens to be one of the tribal population, practices Tibetan Buddhism and are also found in some parts of Tibet as well. According to some experts, China basically fears that the presence of these ethnic groups in Arunachal could come at some stage give rise to a pre-democracy Tibetan movement against the Beijing, which is why, because of the strong cultural connections, there is China which faces the anxiety is the second one. Third is with respect to the political significance. What is it about the political significance? When we had Dalai Lama who escaped Tibet in 1949, he had stayed in Tawang for a particular period of time. The Upper Siang district in Tawang also has a visible and strong Tibetan presence, and China is threatened by the clandestine pan-Tibetan movement from across the India-China border. So the fears of this movement are indicated by the presence of Dalai Lama and the Tibetan government in exile in Dharmashala in Himachal Pradesh. So the third reason is with respect to the political activities which China is apprehensive about. The fourth is in reference to the Bhutan factor. If Beijing were to gain control of Arunachal Pradesh, it would also mean that the Kingdom of Bhutan would have China as its immediate neighbor on both the western and the eastern borders. China has already engaged in massive construction of motorable roads to connect strategic points of Bhutan's western side, and China wants to extend its roads from Dokla to Gamochin, which is under the guard by the Indian Army. China's efforts to move closer to Siliguri corridor, which is a major security threat for both Bhutan as well as India. And when you consider Arunachal Pradesh strategic location, it is the closest location for India to target China with the missiles. Also, Arunachal Pradesh is the best location for India to deploy some of the multi-layered air defense system as well to prevent India from possible attacks from China. Thus, control over Arunachal Pradesh will give China a strategic advantage, which is why China keeps saying that Tawang belongs to China, Arunachal belongs to China, but that is not the reality. Arunachal Pradesh will always be part of India. If any future conflict with China arises, then Arunachal Pradesh is the shortest route for us to reach China, therefore, making it a key strategic importance for India. So basically, China feels that if it happens to capture Tawang region, then it would be a strategic location. They would be able to see what is happening in India in Assam. They would feel that historically it was part of Tibet and Tibet is part of China. So this part will have to be with China. So these are some of the arguments made by China, and this is why it is claiming Tawang and Arunachal Pradesh. We will have more editorials and columns in the near future. We will take this article elaborately once again in our CNAs. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.